Have you ever wondered how humans will breathe on Mars? It's a question that tickles the curiosity of many. Mars, the red planet, has long been a source of intrigue, a celestial body of mystery that has captured our imagination and our scientific ambitions. But as we dream of a future where humans may one day set foot on Martian soil, we grapple with a significant challenge: survival. Mars is not designed for human habitation. It lacks one of our most vital needs for survival: oxygen. Its atmosphere, composed mainly of carbon dioxide with traces of nitrogen and argon, is far from the oxygen-rich air we breathe on Earth. This begs the question: how can humans sustain life on Mars without oxygen? The answer lies in innovation, in our ability to adapt and overcome the obstacles that stand in our way. It lies in our capability to turn the impossible into the possible. So how can we produce the very element we need to survive on a planet that doesn't naturally have it? To answer that question, we first need to understand oxygen itself. Oxygen is a lifeline for us humans, a vital ingredient in the cocktail of gases that we call air. Its importance is twofold. Firstly, our lungs pull oxygen from the air we breathe, which then binds to the iron in our blood. This oxygen-rich blood fuels our cells, enabling us to live, breathe, move, and think. Secondly, oxygen plays a crucial role in the creation of energy in our bodies. By combining with food molecules in a process called oxidation, it helps to release the energy we need to survive. Now let's shift our gaze from our bodies to our planet. Oxygen is abundant on Earth, thanks to a remarkable process called photosynthesis. This process, carried out by plants and certain types of bacteria, captures sunlight and uses its energy to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose, a type of sugar. Oxygen is produced as a byproduct of this process and released into the atmosphere, replenishing the air we breathe. This is where Mars poses a challenge. The red planet is barren of plants, meaning photosynthesis, as we know it, doesn't occur there. Mars's atmosphere is also vastly different from ours, composed mainly of carbon dioxide, with only trace amounts of oxygen. Yet our understanding of oxygen production isn't limited to photosynthesis. On Earth, oxygen can also be produced through processes such as electrolysis, where an electric current is passed through water to separate hydrogen and oxygen atoms. This process, however, requires a substantial amount of energy, and water is relatively scarce on Mars. So, we're faced with a conundrum. We humans need oxygen to survive, but Mars, our next frontier, is sorely lacking in it. But don't lose hope just yet. As we'll see in the next part of our journey, scientists are already working on innovative solutions to this problem. Now, with this understanding of oxygen, we can begin to explore how we might produce it on Mars. Enter MOXIE, an experiment aboard the Perseverance rover that might hold the key to our oxygen problem. MOXIE stands for Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, and it's a game-changer in our quest to make Mars habitable for human life. This innovative experiment is like a miniature mechanical tree. But instead of producing oxygen through photosynthesis like our green friends here on Earth, MOXIE uses a process called electrolysis, a method that's been in use since the late 19th century, albeit in a very different context. Here's how it works. MOXIE absorbs carbon dioxide from the Martian atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, is made up of one carbon atom and two oxygen atoms. Through electrolysis, MOXIE breaks down these CO2 molecules, effectively separating the oxygen from the carbon. The oxygen is then stored for future use, while the remaining carbon monoxide is released back into the Martian atmosphere. This is a significant achievement, as Mars's atmosphere is composed of about 95% carbon dioxide, providing MOXIE with an abundant source of raw material to work with. However, the oxygen produced by MOXIE is a mere 6 grams per hour, roughly equivalent to the amount of oxygen an active astronaut would need to breathe for about 10 minutes. So while MOXIE's current output might not be enough to support a full-fledged human mission, its successful operation is proof of concept. It shows that it is indeed possible to produce oxygen on Mars, paving the way for larger, more efficient systems that could support human life on the red planet. But let's not forget, MOXIE is not only there to help astronauts breathe. The oxygen it produces could also be used as a component of rocket fuel. This means that future Mars missions could potentially create their own fuel on the planet, significantly reducing the amount of resources needed to be sent from Earth. MOXIE is a step forward, but it's just a small-scale experiment. We need a bigger solution for human missions. And that's exactly what the space agencies and scientists around the world are working on. They're taking the lessons learned from MOXIE and scaling them up, inching us closer to the dream of a human colony on Mars. So, what are our other options for producing oxygen on Mars? Well, the possibilities are as vast as the universe itself, and each one holds an exciting potential. Let's delve into some of them. One option that scientists are exploring is bringing plants to Mars. You might be thinking, plants on Mars? Really? But yes, it's a possibility. Plants, as we all know, are nature's oxygen factories. Through photosynthesis, they take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen, a process that could work wonders on a planet where carbon dioxide makes up about 95% of the atmosphere. However, the challenge lies in the Martian environment itself. With extremely low temperatures, a thin atmosphere, and soil that's not particularly plant-friendly, cultivating a garden on Mars won't be a walk in the park. Now let's talk about advanced technology. Scientists are also considering the possibility of extracting oxygen from Martian soil or regolith and water ice. You see, Mars is not as barren as it seems. Its soil contains oxides that could, theoretically, be converted into breathable oxygen. Similarly, water ice, found in abundance at the Martian poles, could be split into hydrogen and oxygen through a process called electrolysis. But again, these processes are not without their challenges. They would require a significant amount of energy and complex machinery, which brings us back to the question of feasibility. Yet, despite these challenges, the potential for these options is immense. Imagine a Mars where greenhouses filled with plants not only provide oxygen but also food for astronauts. Picture a Mars where technology harnesses the planet's resources to sustain human life. These possibilities are not just science fiction, they are the future that scientists and space agencies around the world are working towards. Yes, the obstacles are many, and yes, the journey will be long and arduous. But the rewards? They could be astronomical. The challenge is great, but so is the potential for human exploration and discovery. As we look to the stars and dream of setting foot on Mars, the question of oxygen is a crucial one. We've journeyed through the enigma of Mars, the essence of oxygen, the breakthrough of the MOXIE experiment, and the exciting potential of future possibilities. So here's a quick recap. The importance of oxygen is undeniable. It's essential for human survival and for fueling spacecraft for the return journey to Earth. The MOXIE experiment is a pioneering step in this direction. By converting Mars carbon dioxide into oxygen, it's shown us a glimpse of what might be possible. But it's just the tip of the iceberg. Other potential solutions like algae and electrolysis offer even more hope for sustainable oxygen production on the red planet. As we continue this journey, each discovery peels back another layer of the Mars oxygen mystery. And with every step we take, we come closer to answering the question that has captivated us for so long. Can we breathe on Mars? As we continue to explore and innovate, the dream of humans breathing on Mars moves ever closer to reality.